So, One Punch Man was the second anime I had watched fully, and honestly it's fun to look back on those times when I had no idea how good anime could be. The anime is still one of my favorites that I always hoped would get another season, but honestly I have no idea if that'll happen, so I might as well make this a review and just think about how good it was. But without getting more sentimental about my anime history, let's get into the wild and amazing story of the anime that is One Punch Man. So, in this mostly regular world, there's a man named Saitama. He's an aspiring businessman, or at least a man who wants a stable job that pays well. However, he seems unsatisfied with his life as no job would take him, and compared to his childhood, he's living a very boring and uneventful life. One day, after getting rejected at another job, a huge lobster-slash-human monster appears and starts killing people. But he spares Saitama, as apparently Saitama's eyes are similar to the monster's, in the sense that they seem empty. So the lobster man leaves him and says he's looking for a kid with a huge chin, as he drew fake nipples on the monster while he was asleep. And it just so happens that Saitama meets the kid with the huge chin in a playground. By the way, when I say huge chin, I mean he literally has a giant ballsack stuck to his lower face. Anyways, at that moment, the lobster man appears and tries to attack the child, but Saitama saves him. His reason for doing so is that he always wanted to be a superhero when he was younger, and so he battles the monster and defeats it using some smooth moves. Afterwards, he decides to live his life as a hero in this world where monsters are slowly but surely becoming the norm. He trains so hard in fact that his hair literally falls out, but at this point he is so strong that he can defeat the strongest of foes with a single punch. Hence the name One Punch Man. But while this would normally be a good thing, he realizes that he's been defeating monsters so easily that it's become boring, and no monster has ever been a threat since he became so strong. And so, he follows Saitama through his life journey of being the strongest and unfulfilled hero. Will he ever find a being strong enough to challenge him? I'll leave that for you to find out. Before we get into the ratings, I want to say that even though I watched this show back when I was just getting into anime, it still holds up to today's standards in my opinion. It never gets old seeing all the action and comedy that's in it, so if you've never seen this show but are skeptical as it came out like 7 years ago, I would still highly suggest watching it as it really is on par with a lot of good anime nowadays. Well, let's get into the ratings. The story gets an 8 out of 10. As I'm not an avid manga reader, there's still a lot I don't know about the One Punch Man story as a whole, and this is because there's only been 2 seasons, and I'm pretty sure there's a lot more they haven't put into the anime yet, so I would have given it a higher ranking, but I'll just wait a little longer for another season. It might be in vain as the 2 seasons were years apart and I haven't heard any official news of a new season, but nonetheless I'll wait. From what I know and have seen, I really like the story. It's a great mix of good writing and comedy, so it doesn't exactly all make sense, but you kind of forget all about that once the funny stuff comes up. I do wish though the anime would get to a point where they explain Saitama's power, as even though Saitama explained briefly what he did to get that strong, it doesn't seem like the real reason, and that may be because Saitama might not know for certainty how he got that good. Who knows, maybe his workout regimen of 100 sit-ups, 100 push-ups, and 100 squats with a 10km run actually got him to this point, but I'm still a bit skeptical and maybe it's explained in the manga, but I don't know. For the characters I'll give it a 9 out of 10. They really went ham with the designs and personalities. Each have a good mix of seriousness and comedy in one way or another, and they all mesh well together in that world. A few of them are less important to the viewer as you might not see them very often, but they do give a few of them a chance to shine in the second season. If there's anything that One Punch Man is known for, if not for the on-point comedy, then it's the action, that I'll give a 9 out of 10. There's some amazing fight scenes in One Punch Man, and even though most of Saitama's foes end up dying in one punch, they either give the other characters a chance to shine first, or add some comedy before they end the battles. So if action is your thing, definitely give it a watch. After re-watching some parts, I actually paid attention to the sound, and they do a great job of making things sound like they have some oomph to it. Not to mention the amazing soundtrack of the anime itself, and if you've seen my previous reviews, then you know I love good music in anime, so this is another 9 out of 10. As for the animation, before I give it a rating, I'll talk slightly about the uproar of the second season. Apparently people got angry at either the animation style of the second season or something else. Now at first, I didn't really know what they were on about, but rewatching it, the first season definitely has better action and also animation to a certain degree. I don't think it takes away from the show too much, at least not in my opinion, but be aware of this. So for the rating, I'll give it an 8 out of 10. Overall, One Punch Man gets a 43 out of 50. This is an amazing show that I would recommend to any person who enjoys anime. If you're not too much into comedy or maybe some gore, then it might not be for you, but honestly, I would still say to give it a chance as it could surprise you. I know it did me when I first watched it, but if you ended up not liking it, then it's not a problem. Alright, that's it for the review. If there's any anime you'd like us to review next, then please be sure to leave in the comments. Maybe if there's a manga or a manhwa that you think we should have a look at, then pop that down below as well. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you later.